Good evening, Yarnies, dirty hookers, and fiber fiends. How is everyone doing this evening? I'm pretty good. Stream was a little late. Had some people came over real quick. Actually, it was Clay Miko and North Airy. Um, but we're ready to stream now. We're ready to do the thing, to do all the things. I don't think I have anything to announce the beginning of the stream. Um, like I had said yesterday, I now have the emotes, and the emotes are on the screen. I figured out the raid call, how to do the raid call. I think that's all I can think of. I guess we're just going to get right into it tonight. We're going to be working on the temperature blanket. I need to make a lot more progress on it. I am currently on the row for June 29th. So, lots of catching up that needs to be done. So, how is everybody this evening? Tonight is going to be a more of a chill stream, kind of like last night was. Hey there, Sue. How are you? I'm, my volume is too loud, but hopefully it's not going to be, the music's not too loud for everyone else. Okay, bit sad, but you're used to that. I'm sorry. I hope you cheer up. Hope everything's okay. Alrighty. Now, today I was working on some of my samples for tomorrow and for Tuesday. Samples came out really, really nice. I think they're cute looking. But I'll show those a little bit later into the stream. Maybe in about an hour or so, I guess. I'll show off some of the samples that we're doing. It's common for me to get a hit of reality at night and remember that my mom passed away almost 10 months ago. I'm sorry. Sorry for your loss. And I understand how you can feel that way. Hey there, Fairy Dust. How are you? And thank you for using the emotes. Not that anybody has to use the emotes, but I guess I'm beginning to learn that that's kind of a thing here on Twitch. But so hopefully, you spending time here can help you and kind of not kind of take your mind off of things at times. It's okay, at least I can hang with y'all and calm down. Exactly. Okay, finishing up a beanie for commission. Just lack the brim. You do a lot of commission pieces. Speaking of which, there's a commission piece that I have. I haven't started it yet. I need to get some cream colored crochet thread. A friend of mine wants me to make a sizable doily that she wants to give to her mom for Christmas. So I need to. It's probably what I will do is I will probably on Friday. I know I'm going to be going out on Friday evening. I could probably pick it up then. Along with some more orange yarn. And if we go to Hobby Lobby, I need to get, as Pix calls them, finger condoms. The little leather protective finger things for when you needle felt. Hey, Lumberjacks lady, how are you? I saw what you posted in the suggestions in the Discord. I think that was you. Hold on, let me double check. Yes, the hand warmer beanie um pattern. I haven't clicked on it yet. I just saw the thumbnail. That might be something that we can do in um after the new year because I have everything planned for the rest of this year. I'm doing good. Got home from today from your cousin's wedding. Nice. How was it? Weddings are always fun. Remember that last year on this time I whipped up a whole crochet jacket for her in like 10 days. Oh. Well, I'm sure that she appreciated it. Sweet, I'm planning on making one with a hand spun. Ooh, with hand spun yarn. That'll be really nice. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the pattern and determine if it's something that we can do here on stream. I think just the idea of it, I think that might be something could be feasible. You have a good time and warmed your heart. Very nice. Yeah, my aunt gave me some Christmas doily patterns today. Oh, nice. Yeah, Clean Miko and Norfair came over this evening. That's why I was a little late starting the stream. I ended up giving their daughter the um the braided pumpkin that I did on stream a few weeks ago. Their daughter is into pumpkins right now. So I ended up giving her that, and then Grammy ETC had a cute blanket that she made and ended up giving it to her. So when they came over, Claymiko had the ghost oily, the same pattern that I worked on. She showed me the progress that she's got. It's looking really, really good, really nice. We'll skim through them and send some to Discord. Yeah, definitely, if you're able to. If there's any you like, I will translate them. Yeah, if that's something that you would be willing to do. Most of them are diagrams. Okay. Well, if they're diagrams, you don't really need to translate it. I can figure that out. So, what is everyone working on? I know I ask this every stream, but I'm curious to see if we've got any. I know Fairy Dust just said that they were working on a commission piece, a beanie. Okay, now I gotta move the rest of this blanket right behind me. Making a second crop tot. I finished the first one and gave it to the recipient this weekend. Now I'm on to more for Christmas. Yeah, a lot of people are working on gifts for the holidays. Oh, that's one thing. I did remove some of the sound commands. Like I got rid of the ladybug, the butterfly one, and the marathon one, since those aren't really anything that are things that we need that reaction for. Except they're still coming up in it. Why is that the case? Hmm. Probably because I removed those from the list after I had started the Twitch, the little Twitch chat thingy that I use. But yeah, those are no longer options. Just take some time to um, up for the Nightbot to refresh the thing so they won't show up. But all the other ones are still there. Okay, I feel a sneeze coming on. Oh, use me. All right. Oh, hook came right out of the stitch. We mark off that day. Oh, wait a minute. Come on. There we go. Alrighty. I'm on June 30th. Technically, this is like half. When this row's done, the blanket will be halfway done. I need to take some update progress pics of this blanket. I've got it all rolled up at the moment and pinned in place. Thank you. Yeah, I got it all rolled up and pinned in place, so it's a little bit more easier to work with. What I will probably end up doing sometime this week, unroll it and lay it out and take a picture, and I'll put it in the Discord. Okay, it's to the point I have to flip this monster. Whose idea was it to make it this large? You can't see, but it's literally wrapped around my back. It's like Guess I got an inner tube I'm wearing. A yarn inner tube. Okay. But hopefully this will definitely keep me warm in the winter. Sure, Grammy is the one that forced you to make the blanket that size. She's manipulative like that? No, she didn't force me to do this. No. And it's not for her, it's for me. This is mine. No, I have a king size bed, and I didn't want to make a king size blanket because that would just be too heavy. So that's why I did a queen size. So it'll be smaller than the bed, but it'll be just the right size. And I'm only going to need this for be able to use it for a portion of the year. And to tell you all a little secret, one of the reasons I did this when I started this early on when I started my channel, another reason that I decided to do this project all year was for content for my stream. So, but it will get used. It's not just for content. If it was just for content, like what's the point? Yes, she's not the boss of me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to let me get a stitch marker. I want give me a purple one. I'm going to put a stitch marker. Yeah, she's not manipulative either. I know Fairy Dust was joking. I'm going to put a stitch marker here right at the end of this round. That's just going to let me know that's the end of June. And then I'll measure it later on to see how roughly half of the length is. And I'm hoping, because I did some early on, before I started this project, I did do a gauge swatch and measured and everything. And if I did the math correctly, this should not be super long. It might be a little bit longer than it should be, but not by much because of the stitch. Oh, when we go, we're not even there yet. We're about a half hour to it. When we do come back from our ad break, I will show the samples that we're going to be for the two motifs we're doing tomorrow and Tuesday. In addition to that, we're bringing back a segment that we haven't done probably since the early summer. We're bringing back the meme of the stream segment. It all started with my follower Crojo Mojo would send me yarn or crochet themed memes. So there's a whole bunch that she has sent me that, well, actually, no, I've already shown the ones that she sent me. She said she has a whole bunch, but I found some of my own. So I'm going to pick a meme to show tonight. I haven't picked it yet. Got a bunch that are saved. So we will be bringing that back. Okay. I need to do a little finger stretches. I know I'm going to get tired of orange yarn. I think all I'm going to be using tonight is orange and yellow. That's the 70s and 80s. And I'm using Fahrenheit because I'm in the US. Yes. Us Americans have to be different and have to use a totally different system that everyone else uses. I'm already at the end of this row. I think I'm crocheting faster today than I have before. This just seems to go quicker. I don't know. Alrighty. Let me see what the next. Well, let me mark off my calendar. So that is the last one for June. And I got to switch to yellow for one row. Then at least 7 rows are orange. Do you crochet faster when using worsted weight than with thread? Yes. Yes. And I think I crochet faster with worsted weight, even when I compared to when I used a sport weight like I did like last night with the Project Linus blanket, the white with the little flecks of color. That think that might be a 2. And this is a worsted, so I think it's just the thicker yarn, you can hold on to it and grasp it a little bit easier. I seen a screenshot of a news channel stating something like the pothole on the highway XY was as big as amount of refrigerators. Well, that can happen here in the U.S. Hey there, Clean Miko. I haven't talked to you in forever. How are you? Anything using but the metric system? Yes. Yeah. Okay. I gotcha. I understand what you meant now. That we use any form of measurement but the metric system. Well, no, actually, no. We use metric system in like the medical field. They use metric system. Hey there, Linda Davis Crochet. How are you? But yeah, we uh we do like to use what's the word? Descriptive language for measurement sometimes. Doing well. I'm pretty good. Milliliter or milligram? Yes. Yes. Yes, so in the US healthcare and medical fields, we use milliliter, milligram, grams, yes. That blanket is very orange and yellow. Yeah, well, there's some red in here because we did have 90-degree temperature that one day. So yeah, I'm doing the this is summertime. We use shit ton of measurement frequently as well. And then we go metric. We say metric shit ton. Yeah. Some places use military time, depending. Yeah, in the medical, sometimes I've heard that, but definitely metric when it comes to medical because, and I'm going to admit this, metric is more precise. What month am I on? Right now, this yellow that I'm doing right now is July 1st. This yellow is July 1st. So this is literally halfway through the year. Yep, the moss stitch. Hey there, lady. How are you? Looks so nice in this color. And yeah, Again, this is the temperature blanket that I started back last January. So it's the entire year of 2023. And I am doing July 1st right now. So halfway in. And this is the summertime. So we've got um, 70s and 80s. There was a day that was in the 60s. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. When I have to think in Fahrenheit instead of Celsius, so just imagine how many percent I am warm. Yeah. You're alive and tired. I know the tired feeling. I'm always tired, no matter what. Even if I get plenty of sleep, I'm always tired. Yeah, that's converting between imperial and metric confuses me, especially with temperatures. Because I have other friends that are overseas, and I've talked to them, and they're like, they tell this temperature it's like so hot, it's like 30 some degrees, and I'm like, 30 here is cold. I think it's just funny how metric is usually more precise than temperature comes around, and it's like, yeah. Yeah, 100 is boiling. Yeah, no, I totally understand how metric is. It's all based off of 10, which, when you think about it, it makes sense because we do have 10 fingers. So that's how a lot of early measurements and counting and different systems are have come about, was because it's easy to count on your fingers. And that even though we don't use metric, our money here in the US is based on 10. Or it can be divided by 10 for the most part. Because we do have a decimal system for money. What confuses us Americans, I don't know what countries they are. I can't remember what country it is. Maybe it's Canada, where their money, their bills, like their paper money, even though it's not really paper, each denomination is a different size, like a different measurement. And I'm like, that's confusing to me. I had to learn metric for my degree, and I use it a lot. I think that both metric and imperial systems have very accurate uses, and we underachieve by not using both. Yep. And I've read one of the big reasons why the US doesn't switch to metric for um especially miles versus kilometers for road signs, it would be very expensive to change every sign in the nation. That would bother me so much. Like, why is my one smaller than my 20? Yeah, for the bills, yeah. That confused me. Was it America? I couldn't differentiate between bills like euros are. Yeah, euros, are they different sizes? I know they're different colors. Are they different sizes with a euro? Also, I can't use the dollar trick if I'm getting robbed. Yeah. But with US paper money, the denomination of it is all written all over it multiple times. All are different size, and the color and change goes from big to small depending on how much it's worth. That's why you put everything on a card. Yes, yes, Claymiko. Yes, you put everything on your card. Or nowadays, and I don't understand it, it's all in virtual cryptocurrency. True, I do have a dollar bill on me. Listen, I'm paranoid enough that I'd rather have cash. No, I get that. Sometimes that might be less risky with all of the information leaks from different companies. We hate using cards over here because it's easy to overspend. Some shops don't even take cards. I can't bribe the KKK with a card, which was real awkward. Yeah. Here, hey there, Notewood. Cash is king. Here, most places take plastic unless it's um hmm. Can't think of any examples here that won't take credit cards or debit cards. I mean, even if you're going to be selling things at a um, craft fair or a farmer's market, you can get a the little Square card reader, the brand name Square, the company. They have other companies. Crypto, yeah, I don't understand the crypto thing. People here, people even in the red light district take cards. Well, I wouldn't know anything about that, fairy dust. I mean, we have some places with cash only lines, but yeah, certain lines are cash only, but there is the option of credit. But I don't know of anything that is strictly cash. Why do the stores feel the need to keep people from overspending? Yeah, but the banks can see every money movement. Well, here in the US, you are protected, and with a lot of that information to a degree. But of course, the banks are going to be able to see it because they're the ones facilitating the transactions. Listen, for those on SSDI, cash is vital to survival because damn, these people won't let us live in peace. Yeah, I guess Lot Lizard is hidden in the red light district. Maybe Lot Lizard has moved on from the truck stop lots to those types of streets. What usage are you going to put for red light? I've heard actually, so I have heard that there are places that like strip clubs, um you put your you put like a tab, I guess, a running tab, and then that goes to the entertainment. Our government knows what we're doing and says anyways, what we call piracy and security is all just to make us feel safer, doesn't actually keep us safer. Of course. Of course. But yeah, I've heard of strip clubs taking plastic and you've got like you put like an X amount of money from your card onto a tab and then that those those tips go to the performers. Kind of the same thing with like a bar tab. I've never done that. I mean, I haven't been to, well, red light district meaning strippers. I don't know about the other type of red light district with the other activities. I don't know about that. I have no first-hand knowledge of that, but I've been to strip club, but I paid with cash. Another culture shock? What do you mean with another culture shock? Okay, I need to mark off this day. I would have never thought that my topic of conversation tonight would be about the red light district. Okay, that is there. Now I got to do. Oh my goodness, we're at 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I got to do 11 rows of orange. Listen, the red light district and the diamond district are very different, and I realize many people who are not in the U.S. Well, well, yeah, those are two different things. Yeah. Well, we would never use a card for some things, let alone go without cash. I mean, I guess it's all up to the individual of how and where they would want to use their card. Isn't there a Sting song about Roxanne? I don't know if she accept American Express. But then again, okay, if we're talking about um songs from the 80s and similar type topic, Tina Turner had a song called Private Dancer. And the line goes, Deutschmarks or dollars, American Express will do nicely, thank you. So there is that. Divert topics, you put a whip in the Discord. Okay, I'll check that. When we get done we're gonna go to ad in about 7 minutes. When we come back from that, we will do sneak peek for tomorrow and Tuesday's motif, our Halloween stuff. We will do Discord share and we will do meme on the stream. So those three things. Hate stacking tiny purchases on my card. It adds up. Easy to forget and annoying to write down when balancing the checkbook. Do people balance their checkbooks anymore? Private Dancer is one of your favorite Tina Turner songs. Mine too. I mean, most Tina Turner songs are really good. Never owned a checkbook. Never need to have. Yeah, I've got a checkbook. I don't really write checks. Keep a physical record. Most of my purchases are usually online if I need to. Have to admit, I don't have a favorite Tina Turner song. Private Dancer's not my favorite Tina Turner song. Okay, Norferry, Norferry, you might have to be booted from the stream. You don't have a favorite Michael Bolton song? Who has a favorite Michael Bolton song? Who has a Michael Bolton song that they even moderately like? Um, um, do I have um? I don't have a sound for that. I don't have a sound for that. You've never heard? Okay, you've probably heard Michael Bolton song. Oh, okay. Actually, play Miko. Thank you. Yeah, when a man loves a woman, but that was a cover because I originally was not his, but he did a cover of it. You like that one Michael Bolton song that sounds like the others? Okay, I gotta scroll up. Fairy Dust, Nutbush, City Limits. Nutbush is okay. Um, Too young to know who these artists are. Wow. Gee, thanks. You've now implanted that earworm. Former boss used to go around singing that song. You couldn't hit the high notes. How am I supposed to live without you? Yeah. Oh, pottery. Oh, you posted pottery. Okay, yeah, we'll look at the pottery here when we come back from our ad break. I went into the studio last week and had to do some aggressive throwing. There was a lot of feelings. I totally understand. Yep, I'm live, Lilac. I started a little late because I had some visitors here, so that's why I started about roughly about an hour ago. Thank you for the lurk, Notewood. Have a good lurk. Yeah, Michael Bolton was played a lot during the early to mid '90s. We're going to the Police Pottery Studio tomorrow after the pottery store. Got to use this cash birthday money to fuel my addiction. Pottery is fun. I've only ever done any type of pottery. That was back in like high school. Oh, and yes, happy birthday. Sorry. I'm trying to multitask. Us streamers, we can't do two things at once, much less try to focus on three, four, or five things. Studio Go to has some affordable classes if I want to. Gotcha. Maybe. Might be something to look into at some point. You made it to 25? Yay! Oh well, in the 90s, I was still a non self aware atom in the universe. That was an interesting animation. Wait, I'm I'm confused. Near Anne Arundel, a pain in the butt for me to personally go, but I like this. Okay. Oh, oh, you meant the emotes on the the this because I have it set that anybody's an emote, they float around the screen like a lot of streamers do. Yeah, like that. Oh, and that's one thing I did today. I made the emotes larger than they were, and they're on for a little bit longer. So, like I said last night, I'm becoming a real streamer. I have emotes. I know how to do it on the screen. I got channel point redeems. I have a merch store. Okay, this Halloween song, I've heard it before. We've played it before. Every now and then there's a knock, like somebody knocking on the door. And I think it's somebody knocking on my actual door. It catches me all the time. Continue in the link if you want. Yeah, DM her the link and then she'll let me know about it. Okay, we're gonna have a ooh tornadoes. No, we're not gonna have a tornado. I knew that knocking and that music. We're gonna have an ad in about 30 seconds. When we come back for ad, like I said, we're gonna do all the things and do the sharing and all that good stuff. So I will be back. This is a good time for anybody to get something to drink, get something to snack on, use the restroom, to stretch your arms and your fingers and your body parts. If you're crocheting along, if you're crafting along, I should say crafting along, or just to stretch, just because. So, um, you guys are going crazy with the emotes. That's fine. Bring them on. I like it. Okay, I will be back in roughly a minute. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sitting through the ad break. Hope everybody took the opportunity to stretch, to hydrate, all that good stuff. We're going to go and do the Discord stuff, and we have two shares over in the Discord. Fairy Dust has shared a piece. Not is this the beanie Fairy Dust? This looks like I don't know if I can make this any larger. Um, Looks like a variation of like the fan or the virus stitch. I'm seeing these little spaces here in the curved. Oh, that's a blanket in progress. I love that pattern. What stitch is that? Does it have a name? It's like a fan or shell type. type stitch. No name? Okay. I like it. Nice work. You always do good work. Everybody here who has ever shared always does nice work. So thank you, Fairy Dust. And then Lady 1241 says, I forgot to post these here when I made them. I hope I can trim them when I go into tomorrow. So we have some pottery. Are these chips and salsa bowls? Or like chips and dip, or what do they call it? Crudité, not charcuterie, but crudité type. Love it. I'd be interested to see how you glaze them and what colors you use. So glad us one person knew what they were. Of course. Of I love me some chips and salsa. So it'd be interesting, like I said, it'd be interesting to see what they look like when you glaze them and they've been fired, and very, very nice. Very cool. All right. Move that off the screen. And then you'll have a pic of the beanie in a few seconds. Okay. We'll come back to that. For sure, the larger one should fit some chips real nice. The smaller one end up as a veggie bowl and dressing. Yes. I could make a meal out of chips, salsa, veggies, and dressing, or dip, or cheese and crackers, and assorted vegetables. And alrighty, let me see if this is gonna work. I haven't done the meme of the stream in a while. So we're going to switch over and do the meme of the stream. That did not work. That was not what was supposed to be shown. It's nothing bad. Actually, we need to bring that there. We need to fix the right monitor. Here we go. Oh, make this a little bit smaller. Let me do the thing. I'm going to figure out how to be a streamer at some point. Here we go. We put Made with Love on our projects because Made with Cursing, 4 trips to Michael's, and a lot of wine won't fit on a label. That one's for you, Grammy. Or Joann's, or Hobby Lobby, or whatever online retailer for fabric or yarn or beads or whatever your medium is. So yeah. So that is our little meme. I got to get the transitions a little bit better for when we do the memes and everything else, actually. Let me close that out. Let me bring up Discord again. And then, Fairy Dust, when you have the picture in Discord, let me know. While we're waiting on that, and I will show you what our little sneak peeks for tomorrow and okay, tomorrow and for Thursday. So we're doing our Halloween motifs on Mondays and Tuesdays in October, and tomorrow we're doing a skeleton head. And I'm going to say this, that it's relatively easy, because it is easy. All this is a variation of a solid granny square. The center is a little bit different, but you can do your square however you want. So it's a solid granny square. And then the rest of this is circles. You do a circle for the face, a circle for the eyes. This is just one round for each eye. And then you stitch it on and you do some embroidery stitches for the mouth. And that's all this is. So this will be tomorrow's stream for our cute little skeleton head. I forgot who this is by. Let me pull up. Let me find the thing. This might be Maria's Blue Crayon. Maria's Blue Crayon is a blog that I've got a bunch of patterns from before. Yes, this is from Maria's Blue Crayon. So it's a lot of applique. You upload the pic. Okay, yeah, we'll check that in a second. Could you add a nose? Yeah, you could do like a couple little tiny little embroidery stitches of little black dots. Thank you for the follow, Holly's Enchanted Stitches. Thought you were already following me? That's fine. I know you from Tatter Stream and a bunch of other people's streams. How are you, Holly? I was just showing off what we're doing tomorrow night on stream. We're doing this cute little skeleton applique. This is applique onto a square to celebrate the month of October for our Halloween vibes. And then what we're doing on Tuesday, this one is one of my favorites that I think I've done out of any square that I've done. It is so fun, it's so cool, and again, it's all based on circles. Made some pork stew, yum. Twitch randomly unfollows channels for me. Oh yeah, sometimes Twitch will do that. So this next one is circles. So if you want to practice making circles, like multiple rounds in a circle and keeping them flat, this is a good project for that. And I don't remember who did this. Who did this? Let me see. This is from a blog called Stitch by Faye. This is a eyeball square. And I know it's not showing up. This is like a purple color. You can do whatever color you want for the iris. And of course the background, you can do whatever. I would still do the black. Well, you could change up all the different colors. So this is a very fun, cute eyeball square. And it uses embroidery stitches. So it's more likely your age is showing. That's all right. Well, I'm glad that you have followed me. I know we've interacted a lot in other streams, so. But that will be Tuesday's pattern to do this cute eyeball square. And there you can kind of see it. And yes, it does have a little white stitch there to get the little, like the gleam in your eye. That type of thing. So, our spooky vibes, and they're circles. So that would be Monday and Tuesday. And Fairy Dust has said that they have posted some stuff in the Discord for us to show. So let's do that real quick. We have a beanie. Oh, is somebody a Colts fan? I don't have an issue with it, but there could be some people in my general region of the country that would have issues with that, because the Colts used to be in Baltimore, but that was decades ago. So very, very cool. So did you use I'm assuming like an Intarsha type color change? I know there's different ways of doing it. Nice work. Yeah, definitely nice work with all the changing the color to get the symbol. Quite impressed by the skill. Can we put the Colts / Ravens beef aside? Exactly. I just had to mention it. Again, I'm not a football fan. Not a football fan at all. But very nice work there, Fairy Dust. I've done I haven't done that pattern, but I've done similar work where in the mid row you switch colors and then bring it back, and I did not enjoy doing that. Some folks are bitter for a long time and even boycotted Mayflower movers, yes. But that was in the past. So, thank you. Thanks again. Fair does. You just did normal color changes and need to study more colors change techniques. Gotcha. But no, that's impressive. You got that spot on. I knew exactly what that was when I pulled it up. So, thank you very much for everybody who has shared. Oh, let me move the thing. Let me move the thing. Alrighty. And let's get back to our temperature blanket. Ugh. I gotta wrap it all around me because it's a behemoth. So many talented people here in the stream and on Twitch and in general. For those that stream and those that also don't stream. I love seeing all the art. In fact, I think tonight I'm gonna do a photo dump into the Discord. I was in Vintage Sogal's stream earlier today, and she was talking about beaded crochet jewelry, and she's just getting into it and learning how to do it. And so I took a bunch of pictures and shared it in her Discord. So I'll put the same pictures in my Discord, and we will be doing one of those type of necklaces. They're chunky crocheted necklaces. That we'll do that in the new year at some point. But again, tomorrow and Tuesday, if anybody wants to crochet along with me, you're just going to need 2 colors for the skeleton. And if you don't want to use black on stream, I'm not going to use black or white. I'll change it up just so you can see it. And then for the eyeball, you're going to need 4 different colors: a color for the pupil, a color for the iris, a color for I think that is called the sclera. Look at me with technical terms. Then a red for the bloodshot and the veins and everything, and then your your background color. So 4 to 5 colors, depending if you want to change the background color. You want to make it different from the pupil. So anybody who wants to crochet along with me, that's what you would probably need on hand. Hey there, Artemis. How are you? Just showing off what we're doing coming up this week, and was showing the Discord shares and I'm good. Just working on some of the progress of this temperature blanket. Took a pic of a football helmet with the horseshoe, kind of did a pixelated image on graph paper, and then crocheted it. Yep, that's kind of the way you kind of have to do it. There are programs that you can take a picture and upload it into it and play around with the scale. That always doesn't work the best. Back panel of the cardigan is done. Yay! And that is, now that you mentioned that, I have to put that cardigan project, I gotta at least start it. I've got so many whips for stream or for my personal use that either has to get started or I need to work back on them. I still have that pair of socks that's been sitting there. I need to make an effort to work more on those socks. Because the socks probably won't take that long to do. Seeing how it's getting cooler weather, I want to wear the socks. The yarn is so pretty and soft, and it's got some sparkle in it. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I have it right here. I have it right here. I'll show you my the sock whip, which I have to still change it to fit my foot. But first pair of socks that I've ever made. I only have the one partially done, so I need to make it a little bit longer to fit my fat foot. And this is back before I didn't have all the stitch markers. I need to change. I'm gonna have to rip all these rows out anyway, and I will change out to real stitch markers and not paper clips. I mean, paper clips work. Since the yarn is sparkly, when Cub wears these socks, we can call them twinkle toes. Yes! And again, thank you, Clean Miko. She's the one who gifted me this yarn. She had 4 skeins of this merino yarn. It's got a little bit of whatever it is to make it sparkle. Oh, that needs to be worked on. In fact, I'm keeping that out. If I put it back where it was, I'll forget it. I'm going to keep it out. So it's going to force me to do the modification and finish at least one sock. I think that's going to be my goal. I think my goal is by the end of the month, finish one sock. Now that I put it out there, I have to do it. You all are my witnesses. You are all going to hold me accountable to at least get that one sock done by November 1st. And if I don't, then I'm going to look like an idiot on the internet. I already do look like an idiot on the internet. That's been proven multiple times. I'm nearing the end of this day. Oh, I'm not even on in frame. Nobody said anything. Sometimes I need my followers to yell at me to get back into frame. Over here, crocheting 10 states away. Alrighty. That row is done. Ten more rows of this color. Check over here. What's going on over in this? Alrighty. Speaking of far away, okay, what's far away? Well, I know you're far away. You're in a different continent, but when you think about it, America and Europe, America. Are you sure you're not in America? In Europe are like 12-hour flights apart by By ship, even longer. Oh, yeah. Days by ship. All right, we got to flip. But in contrast, the universe itself is so huge, we're not even an atom big enough. An atom big to the whole picture, of course. So yeah, on a universe, on a scale of the universe, so you and I are like next door neighbors. It always makes me think that I need to travel and visit friends. Yeah, I like going to new places. I've only ever been the only other foreign country I've ever been to was Canada when I was like 2, and I don't remember any of it. But I've been to exactly half of the U.S. states, so there is that. Because it shouldn't be distance that keeps people apart. I agree. Unfortunately, in the world we live in, it's usually the cost to travel that distance that keeps the people apart. Exactly, Faradust. Yep. I mean, there are a lot of places around the world that I've always wanted to visit. A lot of places there in Europe that I wouldn't mind visiting. I'm blessed enough to be able to actually to afford travel. Every week I ponder on which organ I'm going to have to sell just for gas money to get to work. Sue says, and lazy ass is always putting it back. Well, if you're able to afford to travel and you can have time off or whatever, and you have the time to do it, and that's something you want to do, why not do it? Even more so, I mean, the US is about the size of Europe, generally. There are places in the US that I would love to see. Deeply afraid of traveling alone, but my partner has a deep fear of flying. Ah, that's understandable. Oh my gosh. Being a rather small woman doesn't make it easy going to a different country alone, even meeting with friends. No, I understand that. I understand that fear. I mean, I'm a bigger guy and I don't like the idea of traveling alone myself, even if I could afford to travel. It, and that's even here in my own country. Also, it's more fun to travel with a friend. You can make memories. Gonna do my finger shakes and stretches. I only go out at night in one specific city and in an area I know like my own house. I get it. I totally get it. Because I'm gonna be honest, I might be a chunky little bitch, but I ain't no match for average built male, even if unarmed. Nope. So you always got to be safe, and if you don't feel comfortable doing that alone, then you got to be aware of your limitations. And again, like I said, it's always more enjoyable to travel or experience new areas with a friend. I always stay safe and eat cake. Now I want cake. All right, got another row done. I'm already sick of this orange yarn. I always say, don't be upsetty, eat some spaghetti. Okay, spaghetti sounds good too. Okay, time to flip again. This is going to be known as the blanket that ate the crafty cub. My comfort foods are all pasta related. Oh, yeah. Anything with carbs. Pasta, rice, potatoes. Yeah, I'm with you. What's actually I've been known to do, which is really good, just make up some pasta noodles, whatever you got, and then just put some butter and some salt and pepper on it, maybe some like Italian type seasonings, like herbs. Oh, sprinkle it on there. Oh my god, that's heaven. Love it. I've done that with rice too. My go-to is yogurt, salt, chili flakes, and some canned tuna. Hmm. As long as the tuna is cold, I don't like warm or hot tuna. Like I know here in the U.S., a popular dish. Well, I don't know how popular it is now, but it was popular decades ago. Was tuna casserole. No, don't like it. Yeah, don't like hot tuna fish. I think Grammy will agree with me. Gotta remind myself when I do actually use this when it's finished, then I gotta make certain I don't have to go anywhere. Like I'm in for the night. Like I don't have to like get up and use the restroom. Thank you for the follow, Gary Jr. How are you? This is cool. This is gonna be about a queen size bed. This is a temperature blanket. Um, Meaning the high temp. Well, the scale I'm using is the high temperature of the day will determine what color I use. And right now I am working on, actually, the row I'm on is July 4th. I didn't work on it during the summer because it was too warm to deal with all of this. Now that it's cooled off, I can go back to it. I started at the beginning of the year, so I recorded all of the high temperatures in my location, and then right above me I got my temperature range. So right now I'm doing orange. I'm in the U.S., so we use Fahrenheit. We had that conversation in there earlier. So anything in the 80s gets an orange. Anything in the 70s gets a yellow. The 60s get a green. There's a red stripe here that day was in the 90s. And this is further back. This is some blue. That was in the 50s. I have this all rolled up so I can maneuver it. There might be some purple in here. I know for a fact there's only one row that is white. That was back January, February, where our temperatures was anything below 40. So that's just the range I came up with. People do it in different ranges. Um, the blanket will be warm because the stitch I'm using is called the moss stitch. It's also called the granite stitch or the linen stitch. Here on the stream, we refer to this as the zipper stitch because if you look how the rows interlock with each other, they look like the teeth of a zipper, like it's zipped up. That's just what we have called it here. Uh, if you know anything about crochet, it's a somewhat easier stitch to do. It's just a single chain one, single chain one. I like that pattern because it's not going to be super long because the row previous interlock with each other, so they're not really long. So when it's done by the end of the year, well, I'll probably have to work on it at the beginning of the new year. I'll have a record of the temperatures for the entire year, and it'll just be all in colors. Now, what I'm doing is any orange I have. So there's this orange and this orange. Both of those were in the 80s. I'm not getting a specific shade of orange. Some people do that. They'll have a specific shade of a certain color for a temperature range, which is fine too. Your friend made you some hats until I wore them out. Nice. But again, thank you for the follow and welcome to my stream. You luck not to have the 115. Maybe not a color for that. Yeah. Well, my range here, anything over 90 will be red. So we do get, not every year, but we have gotten temperatures where I live in the low 100s. So that is possible. Well, I don't think that's going to happen anytime this year because our hot weather is pretty much that hot of weather is pretty much gone. I think we're good with hot weather. What part of the U.S.? I am in the Mid-Atlantic. I'm in Maryland, not too far from Washington, D.C. So we get a wide range of temperatures here. So that's what I just chose. And actually not far from Fort Meade. So you must be military if you know Fort Meade. But some people, and I don't have it on my hand on hand right now. One of my mods, Claymiko, she did when I started this back in January. She was doing one, but it was for the time period when she was pregnant with her daughter. So it was it wasn't a full year, and it was a smaller blanket, and her color palette was different. And she had specific colors for specific temperature ranges. I don't know what the range were. I don't know if they were like 4 temperatures, 5 temperatures, any of that type of thing. And it was a specific color. So it looked totally different. No way, your streamer you made emotes from is also from Maryland? Nice! Retired military? Did we get rain up here? We got some rain Friday or yesterday. Yesterday. Yesterday, yes. Yesterday it rained pretty much all day. And let me check the chat. Oh yeah, that's what I saw. Grammy said she only made tuna casserole once. Gross. Yeah. I track the weather a lot as I have friends all over. Yeah, like I said, it rained all day yesterday, but it was like a consistent rain. It wasn't like a heavy downpour. Yeah, we didn't get the torrential rains that cause flooding. Yeah. It was gray and cloudy all day and rainy, but it was a good soaking rain. Why is that not doing that? Okay. We need the rain. So damn dry, darn dry, and the allergies are awful. Ooh, yeah. Um, I follow So Vintage Gal. Not So Vintage Gal. I'm combining two different streamers' names together. Vintage So Gal. She is in. I think she's in East Texas, and she was saying how her allergies were acting up recently. But yeah, the fall, October, November, we don't always have super rainy weather, but we do get some rain this time of year. We get rain all year round, actually. Sounds about right. It's been a very bad season for allergies. A lot of people stayed home. Yeah. Here, well, I don't really have seasonal allergies this time of year. Mine are more spring related that have been the fall. But yes, welcome to my channel, Gary. I didn't even introduce myself. Usually I introduce who I am when I get a new um, follower or a new chatter. Do I have a fireplace? We don't have a fireplace. Well, we we have a fireplace. We don't use it. It's a propane fireplace, and we don't use oil. Our heat is um, propane. Thank you for noting. Yeah, you're welcome. Again, I'm the Crafty Cub, mostly crochet, but come the new year, we will be doing other art forms. We're going to do some cross stitching. We're going to do some embroidery. We're going to do some jewelry making, like beaded jewelry making. We're going to, on and off stream, we're going to attempt to learn how to tat. And we're going to try to get better at knitting. We're going to do some, um, really learn how to do some needle felting at some point, maybe. I'm going to do prepping some fiber and try to spin some yarn. So, well, most of that sounds like foreign language, but it's always cool to learn. Yeah, I'm all about the fiber arts. Yeah, what I'm doing here, this is crochet, and I'm basically forming fabric with a hook. With this thing here. And what we do here on the stream is on Sundays, we work in the temperature blanket. You have to go, Clay Mika. Okay, I'll catch you later. We'll be in touch. Um, Sundays we work on temperature blanket. In the month of October, Mondays and Tuesdays, we do Halloween themed motifs. Tomorrow, we're doing a cute skull little square. So, we're doing that tomorrow. And then Tuesday, we're doing an eyeball square to get all the spooky feels. This was fun to make. I really like this square. Thursdays, we do Throwback Thursdays. I have a special permanent guest host. Hopefully she's feeling well. She wasn't feeling well last Thursday. We do vintage patterns. A lot of crochet thread and doilies and that type of thing. Our special host, her name is Granny Karen Cakes Marino. She's an elderly, feisty lady. And let me see some of the stuff that she's done. She did this on stream. So she will teach us some vintage lace patterns. And then on Saturdays, we work on a charity blanket for a charity called Project Linus. My very close friend used to crochet, but I used to aggravate her and call it knitting. Yeah, I've got some friends that refer to this as knitting. And I can understand if you're not familiar with the differences. They're related. They both use a tulle and yarn to make fabric. But the main difference is crochet uses one hook, and there's tons and tons of different stitches. Tons of different places you can put the hook in to form the stitch. There's different anatomies of the stitch that you can do. But with knitting, you use two needles, blunt pointed needles, and you basically are putting loops within loops to form the fabric. And there's essentially two basic stitches you use, and then how you combine those two stitches is to form the different knit patterns. Again, I'm a novice when it comes to knitting. We're gonna get better at it. I'm a soul food type of person, use a lot of crochet pads for our hot pads. I love soul food myself. Knowing me, having two left hands, I would poke yourself. Well, I don't have any on hand. Actually, I do. I got a pair of, these are bamboo knitting needles. And they're blunt. They're not sharp enough to cause any, I mean, if you really forcefully stabbed yourself with it, yeah, but they're not sharp to like draw blood. Even the metal ones or the plastic ones, they're not sharp. Again, anything could be a weapon if you try hard enough. I like bamboo as well. We use forks and spoons. Yeah. I've got some plastic ones and some metal ones also. Again, I'm very much a novice when it comes to knitting, but I want to get better at it because there are some really interesting and pretty knit patterns out there that I want to try. Okay, I gotta mark this row off, because if not, I'm gonna end up making one too many, and you're an expert at watching. That's cool. I don't... Wait a minute. Oh, okay, yeah, I did need to do that stitch. I was confused. And what we do here, not on the weekends, because we work on these blanket projects, but we usually teach a stitch or a motif. And if anybody is interested in learning how to crochet or has a question about crochet and they're stuck on something, I'm always willing to put down what I'm working on, pick up another ball of yarn and a random hook, and try to do a little sample to help teach somebody because it's all about education here on the Crafty Cub stream. It's a good question. Is it better to crochet or knit a sweater? It's neither better. Neither one is better or worse than the other. I've never made a sweater, which that is on my list. I have a pattern to do a cardigan sweater. I'm going to attempt to do it. It's crocheted. Um, I don't think one would be warmer than the other. It has to do with the warmth factor would have to do with the types of stitches, the size of the yarn, and the fiber content. Because there are some yarns that are used not really for warmth and more for drape, and like they have summertime sweaters. Sweaters like lightweight sweaters that you can wear in the summer or when the weather is not as cold. And those are usually done with cotton or linen. And they tend to be thinner yarns, lighter weight yarns. And then they have other ones like when you think of a sweater, it's usually this size of yarn or maybe bigger. And traditionally, those types have been done with wool or alpaca or any other type of animal fiber, or what I'm using here is acrylic. So, and then it also depends on the stitches you use, because some stitches are denser than others, meaning they're thicker. Like this here isn't that thick of a stitch, it's really thin. I don't have an example of a thicker stitch. I've made other stitches that has got some thickness to, and that would be more insulating. I'm over at my friend's house. She has these 3 huge brackets made out of yarn, but looks like a rope. Oh, wait. Are they bracelets? Are they... Hey there, Lady Cricket Bug. How are you? She has these huge... That is made out of yarn. There are really thick yarns. I mean, there's really thin, and there are thinner threads than this. This is a type of thread called crochet thread, or you can use it for tatting, which is a totally different art form. I'm going to try to learn how to do that. But they have threads that are much thinner than this, and then they have ones that are much, much, much thicker than what I'm using tonight, this orange. How can I see this? With light and reading glasses. And this is not the thinnest. This is like standard. This is like thicker in the crochet thread world. They have ones that are much, much finer than that. Good. Just finishing up another mermaid tail ornament before bed. Yay! Yeah, the one that you shared the other night was really pretty. I like it a lot. But this here is what that was made out of. And we did this on stream last week. Let me pop that out of the way real quick. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So this thin thread was used for this. And it was also used... Oh, that's not the right one. That one hasn't... That one's kind of... It's the same thing, but this one's nicer looking. And we did this ghost doily. And then this one I did off stream, and I don't think it's going to be... You're not going to be able to see it as much because it's pretty large. You're not going to see it as much. That was done with that same size thread. I can't spread it out as big as I would like. So that was done on that. Again, this whole bunch of different pieces that I have that were all done with that same thickness of thread. And it's the same type of stitches that you would use with this type of yarn. So that's the only difference, is the thickness of the thread and the size of hook you would use. In about a minute, we're going to have an ad break. The ad break is only going to be a minute long in itself. So this is a good time to stretch, to get something to drink, get something to eat, use the restroom, all of that good stuff. I will be back. Like I said, it's only going to be about a minute or so. So stick around and I will return. Be right back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. Again, thank you for sitting through the ad break. But yeah, that's all there's all different types of stitches you can do with crochet, and different thickness of yarn or thread. Same thing with knitting. You can knit with the different sizes and thicknesses of yarn. And the thickness of your yarn or thread will correspond to the size of hook. So they have much smaller hooks, like a hook like this would be kind of what I would do those doilies with. And then there's that hook, what I'm using tonight. And then I don't know where my larger hooks are. I can't get them at the moment. But they're all measured by diameter of this part of the hook in millimeters. This one's a 2.75 millimeter. This one's a 5.5 millimeter. They can go up to 20 some, even probably bigger than that. They can go smaller than this too, much smaller. Like these right here, these are steel hooks, and these are super, super, super tiny. And I don't know how well the camera's going to show up. So this is a 2.75 0.75 millimeter hook. So that's the diameter of the shaft of the hook right there. And then the smallest one I have is this one here. And it's the diameter of the shaft. And this is a 1.15 millimeter hook. That is super, super tiny. I can barely see it. Sounds like an affordable hobby. It can be expensive. It can be affordable. It all comes down to your hooks. Hooks can be inexpensive. They can be super expensive. And then the main thing that can affect the affordability of the hobby is your yarn you use. I'm using worsted weight acrylic yarn, which is basic yarn that you find in most places that are going to sell yarn, most big box stores. Then they have certain fibers that are more expensive, like a lot of the natural fibers, like certain wools and alpaca and angora and mohair, and then if you get them ones that are hand dyed, hand spun, and yeah, it can get very expensive. And hey there, Mama Rita, how are you? You have a .60? Wow. Yeah. Some of these really tiny hooks I've never used. I've never used like these last four hooks. I've used these two before, the two larger ones. And that is a 2.35 and a 2.55 millimeter. So I've used those. Yes, I used to brain tan wild game leather. You were correct. Yeah, okay, yeah. So it all depends on your medium you use. The your price range can be enormous. Alpaca and buffalo, yes. Alpaca yarn. And I wish they had Touch-A-Vision or whatever through the internet. This here is 80% acrylic and 20% alpaca. This here is super, super, super soft. If you've ever even petted a live alpaca, their hair, their fur is very soft and very insulating. So it's, and this wasn't cheap. This, I don't know, this is probably almost not, well, it's probably about 15, 16 bucks. I got it on sale. And this is how many? Let me see. Does it give ounces? Oh, 8.8 ounces. So it's a pretty sizable cake of yarn, but it would be more expensive if it was 100% alpaca. But also, if it's 100% alpaca, it's not going to be as strong. So they add the acrylic for some durability to it. So, super, super soft and cuddly. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I saw it and I was like, I got to have it. Grammy ETC has one in the same line, but in a different colorway. And you just, us yarnies, us people who like yarn, sometimes you just have the yarn and you look at it and you pet it. And you just visit it. You don't necessarily have a project for it. I will find a project for this at some point. Something that needs a lot of drape, because this is a very drapey yarn. That makes sense. What about sheep fur? Sheep wool, it all depends on the breed. There are some breeds that they have been bred, so their wool is more durable. And then there are some breeds that have been bred, so their wool is more fine and delicate and soft. And there are, I don't know how many different types of breeds of sheep. I think there's only 2 or 3 breeds of alpaca. They haven't been domesticated as much as sheep have. But yeah, there are tons of sheep breeds. So that's a whole can of worms just opening up if you want to go into just the types of wool that are out there. And then, like I said, there's other materials, like there's linen, which is made from flax. There's cotton. There's yarn that is derived from bamboo. Technically, bamboo yarn is not really natural. Technically, it's synthetic because there is a process they use with it, and it is man-made. So you're not taking actual like strips and like fibers from bamboo. You're taking it and then processing it. Apologies for the Gauntlet newbie questions. No, it's all about education, and I love talking about it. If you hadn't noticed, hey there, Knitter Girl. You know what? What do I know, Sue? Or what do I not know? Sort of like hemp, yeah. Oh no? Wait, what? I'm confused. Sue has broke my brain. How are you, Knitter Girl? You changed the amount of channel points for the donkey song. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Because I want to make it a little bit more difficult for people to redeem it. Sorry. I don't want to be. Okay, it is still once per stream. So everybody can't redeem it on the same stream. But yeah, I had to up it because um, it was going to be a little bit too easy to redeem that. Thank you, Knitter Girl. It took 2 hours for somebody to redeem it, but that's okay. I would have been able to use it twice before. Not anymore. You gotta stick around and be a more, which I know you're a loyal viewer, and I appreciate you, you doing that. Fiend? Yeah. I didn't want to make that one too easy to redeem. I kept a lot of the other ones at a reasonable price. Thanks for the follow. Thank you for the follow. No, what? I thought you would follow me before. Maybe not. But thank you. I appreciate that. I'm getting another row done. Wow, I'm actually making progress on this tonight, which is good. It needs progress because I'm playing catch up. Because again, I'm now in early Nopewood. I am in early January, right? Not January. No, early July. The other month that starts with J and ends with Y. I would like to get this done. I'm probably not going to get it done until probably mid to late January, I'm thinking. You're big into gardening? I like gardening. I don't do a lot of it, but I've got some house plants here, and um, we have some potted plants outside, which is nearing the end of the season. Um, Gary, if you're interested, if not, that's fine. I do have a Discord, and the link for that, if you type exclamation point Discord, will be the link to join that. We post pictures of things we're working on or things we're interested in, and it's not just crochet, gardening would work. I've posted some gardening pictures in the past. Um, Whatever your hobby, whatever. So that is if something that you would want to join and to share our little community that's over there. We've got about 50 people, I think. And there's some resources for a lot of crochet resources. I will try to get some other um, craft hobby type resources, and anybody can add to those resources over in those channels on Discord. Thank you for the follow, Mama Be Fun. How are you? Welcome to my channel, to my stream, or whatever you call this thing. I am the Crafty Cub, and as you can see, I am crocheting. I'm working on this temperature blanket that's probably going to take me a millennium to finish. Same address in Discord. Actually, I'll give you the link. There you go. That's the link for the Discord. And again, those of you who are new here, yes, I am the Crafty Cub. Not just crochet, there will be other art forms in the future. And as you probably have seen at the bottom of the screen there, whatever, we are the home of the dirty hookers. Apparently, there are people who wash their crochet hooks. Somebody had asked that in a group I was in, and I never heard of such a thing. I have never wanted to wash a crochet hook, and I never will, so I am proud to have a dirty hook. I've always wanted to do one, but can't make the commitment. Oh, a temperature blanket? Well, you could do a smaller project. Hey there, Tatter. Thank you for the hydrate. You could do a smaller project. You can do a scarf and only for like 3 months. You could do a smaller size blanket. There's all different variations of it. Yes, I had to raise the price of it because I didn't want it to be too easily redeemed. I'm new at Channel Point, so do you think, and this is for everybody, do you think that price, the Channel Point price for the Donkey Song, is too high? I want it more than 10,000 points because that could be accumulated. Yeah, no, I don't want to sing at every stream. Maybe every other stream or whatever, but if everybody thinks that's a little too high, I can lower it a bit. But I want it to be something to savor and cherish. I don't want it to be overdone. I stream long and regular, so I guess it's doable for a regular watcher. Yeah. So that's kind of one of the reasons that I had it for higher. It's for my my usual watchers, my usual followers to might go with 50,000, see how often it gets. Might not happen. Okay. Yeah, I might do that. I might lower it to around 50,000. Again, I'm very new to channel points. I'm new to emotes. So how are you, Tatter? We were in here talking about got a streamer. I'm stuck at 30,000 and they stream like once a week. I'm pretty good. We were in here talking about thicknesses of yarn and thread and hook sizes. One of my new followers, Gary, was asking about it, and I had shown some of the doilies that I did with the cotton thread. And oh yeah, I love the questions. I love the questions. Um, and they had mentioned, and Tatter, you can appreciate that this is size 10 cotton thread. Um, they were like, how can you use that? Meaning it's so thin, and I explained there are threads much thinner. Traveling Tatter uses the same type of thread, but she does shuttle tatted lace, which I'm gonna learn how to use, or learn how to make. Where's the thing? Where's my shuttle? Oh, here it is. Traveling Tatter, and let me shout you out. I know I shout you out all the time, but I'm gonna shout you out again because it's my stream and I want to. Yeah, check out the Traveling Tatter. She takes um a shuttle like this, and it has a bobbin in here. Winds the thread. It could be this thread. It could be even thinner ones, and winds it on here. Puts it back in, and then uses this to make a series of knots. Again, I don't know how to do it. To make lace and edgings and different types of designs and patterns. And exactly, this size 10 thread is large for those of us that use it. And let me catch up with the stream. You're on Discord now? Okay, yeah, welcome to my Discord. Hey there, Anna the Wallflower. How are you? Yes, it is me. Yes, it's been a while since you've been in my stream. Everybody welcome Anna back in. She is the one, and I'm not going to ad break. She add graphic. Yes, Sue? Oh, you couldn't hear me. You couldn't hear me when I had the graphic because I don't have the microphone on there. Anyway, so yes, Sue is the one, not Sue, Anna. Words, names, things. Anna is the one who designed my ad break graphic. So sorry, everybody, that you couldn't hear me. Every time you check, I've ended. Yeah, I'm on. I'm trying to make an effort to stream um longer. Yeah, time zones. Yes, time zones. You are like literally halfway around the world from me. So yeah, time zones. You're in Central Time Zone. Gotcha. Yeah, you said you're in Oklahoma. I am in Eastern, East Coast of the U.S. Yes, isn't that graphic nice, Tatter? She was nice enough to make that. Like she offered, and I've I'm very grateful for it. Oh, and Anna, you haven't been in my stream in a while, so a lot of things have changed. A lot of things have happened. And this goes for everybody else, and I've probably already said this, and you're probably hearing it over and over and over again. Um, I'm working on the temperature blanket again. We stopped in the summertime. I don't know if you were here, if you were in my stream when I started this. Um, I've resumed doing the temperature blanket for this year. It's what we do on Sundays. Saturdays, we work on blankets for Project Linus, which is a charity here in the US and Canada for children 0 to 18 that are in need, either severely traumatized, um, seriously ill, homeless, etc. So they take in handmade new blankets, either crocheted, knitted, quilted, etc. There's a whole bunch of different types of blankets they will accept. So that's a good cause that I make blankets for. Um, right now in October, on Mondays and Tuesdays, we're doing Halloween themed. Look at your temple. Is it still hot here? No. Okay, I am working on the temperatures from um July. I'm on July 5th right now. I had to put it away for the summer. It got too hot. I didn't work on it, and I've been picked it up in the past maybe 3 weeks. I started up again. So yeah, I'm playing catch up. So Mondays and Tuesdays in October we're doing Halloween themed. Tomorrow we're doing a skull square. And those of you who weren't in here earlier when I showed it, I'll show it real quick. We're doing this tomorrow. It's all circles and a square, basic shapes. So we're doing this cute little skull tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, we're doing an eyeball square. And you can change up the colors. I know the black doesn't show up that well on the camera, but we're doing this. And my favorite part is the embroidery with all the little veins. So spooky. Yeah. So that's what we're doing Monday and Tuesday for our Halloween. And then the other change that we did, Anna, was on Thursdays. We have a stream on Thursdays. I no longer stream on Thursdays, but there is a stream. I have a special guest. Her name is Granny Karen Cakes Marino. She's a feisty elderly lady. She doesn't take lip off of anybody. And she talks about her family a lot. She has a very colorful family. And she does vintage. And I was just showing this. Maybe I should just keep this all out. She teaches us vintage patterns from back in like anything before like the 60s, I guess. And she did this on stream. She's done some edgings. So tune in on Thursdays for Granny Karen Cakes Marino. And those of you who are not familiar with her, let me pull up a picture of the dear old lady. And here she is. That is Granny Karen Cakes Marino. She might look like an elderly lady. She is an elderly lady, but she is hip, even though she hasn't broken a hip. But she's feisty, and she is willing to teach us some of the old patterns that she learned when she was young. So check out Thursdays for Granny Karen Cakes. So that is what we do on stream now. Let me close that picture out. Yep, if not, there is the VODs and there is the YouTube channel. Again, those of you who are new or haven't heard me say this before, and I'm surprised if you aren't new and you've never heard me say this because I say this all the time, I do have a YouTube channel. So exclamation point YouTube will get the link for the YouTube channel. You can check out all of my past streams. There's about 140 or so over there. You can see what I've done in the past. They're all unedited. So it's like an archive of my streams. I already did the Discord. Another thing, Anna, that's new, and those of you who are new, I have a merch store. So check out the merch store if you would like. That's another way to support the channel besides here on Twitch, besides subs and bits and all of that good stuff. I've got couple different designs over there. If you are a proud dirty hooker and you want to show off your pride, you can get yourself a t-shirt, a 32-ounce stainless steel water bottle, or an accessory pouch to put your hooks and your stitch markers and your sewing needle, your yarn needles and your scissors, and they will you can show off your pride that you are a dirty hooker, and you can get yourself a t-shirt that looks just like this, except your lettering will match the color of the yarn ball. Mine was a sample. So if you order the pink one, like I have here, where it says Proud Dirty Hooker, will be in pink. There's also a version with a blue ball. Yes, you can have blue balls. And it will be in the blue lettering. And on the back, we'll have my logo of the stream here. Again, that design this pink yarn ball. You could have this design on a t-shirt. There's like 5 different colors of t-shirts. You could also get it on a 32-ounce stainless steel water bottle or the accessory pouches. In addition to that, and I don't have a sample of it here, let me pull up the store. And if you don't want to show off your pride that you are a dirty hooker, depending on the people that might see it, you can also get a shirt and water bottle or accessory pouch, those 3 items, in a design that has crochet terms. So any words that are related to crochet. So those of you who would want something a little more subtle, and on the back it will say my Twitch logo. Not logo. Twitch URL. Words. And like I said, we have the accessory pouches and the water bottles. And then we go back to the shirts. And these come in all different sizes from small to 5X. They are very comfortable. So those are your options if you choose to check out the merch store. So let me go back to this. Now that I tried to be a good salesman. You posted some updates on the mermaid tails. Alrighty, let's go and do the Discord real quick one more time. Oh, yes, you did post updates. Updated on the mermaid tail ornaments, sewing and beading done for these. One more to go, and then to add charms to personalize them a bit more. This is from Lady Cricket Bug. Let's see here. We're going to see some felted mermaid tail ornaments that have some beading on it. Super, super cute and super pretty. I really like those. I like these colors. I love the blues. Let's see what else we have. There's the gray and the pink. I think we saw that one the other night. That one's very pretty too. I like how you did the beading here right on the edge. What size beads are those? Hey there, Queen Short 3. They're seed beads. Do you know what size seed beads? If not, that's okay. Oh, and we got a little bit of contrast here with the blue and the yellow. Very cute. Very, very pretty. Thank you very much, Lady Cricket Bug. Yeah, aren't they pretty? They're very, very pretty. Not sure, very small. Yeah, that's okay. No, I get it. That trying to memorize, well, not memorize, try to figure out the size of the different size of beads is confusing because it's just like learning a language, the different size of yarns and threads. Welcome, Queen Shorty 3. How are you? I am the Crafty Cub, and I am working on a temperature blanket for the year of 2023. I started this back in the winter and took a hiatus because it was too hot, and I'm now coming back to it. So we are now working on the temperatures for that very first week of July. In my location, it was in the 80s for a long time. But I want to get a lot of this done. And I would like to use this sometime this winter. Here it doesn't get like really, really, really cold until about January, February. So I figure if I can get a lot of it done and before it gets real cold, then I can use it. I mean, I have plenty of other blankets, obviously, but already I've been running my mouth like crazy, and I guess that's what us streamers should do. But yeah, those Those mermaid tails are really cute. What yarn am I using? I am using whatever acrylic, worsted weight acrylic I have. So some of this in here, there might be some Red Heart. There might be some, I think this orange one I'm using right now is Craft Smart, which I think is a Michaels. I could be wrong. It could be some other, um, it could be in other places too, but I've only ever seen it in Michaels. It's a pretty decent, um, worsted weight acrylic yarn. I think it's actually softer than Red Heart Super Saver. So it's whatever I have on hand. I'm not really particular to specific brands as long I try to stay within the same weight and obviously the same fiber content for the most part. I mean, a project like this, I will keep it all worsted weight and acrylic. And I don't have a specific shade, so anytime it's in the 80s, it's an orange. So this shade of orange was in the 80s, and then this shade of orange back here was also in the 80s. So anytime there's an orange, it's the 80s. They are for some friends who have a cold water sea swimming group called the Mermaids. Each member has an NIC based on a Disney character, hence the color. It's Disney Pixar. Ah, that's pretty cool. If Clay Miko was here, she would be interested in that. Clay Miko is a Disney freak, and yes, I said the word freak. And one of her all-time favorites is The Little Mermaid. I will have to, well, next time I talk to her, I'll have to let her know. Yeah, they're crazy. Even swim in the winter. Yeah, It's kind of like, and I know they do this all over the country, not just in my area, but the people in the winter who do the polar bear plunge, no. And I understand it's for charity. I get that. And it's a good cause. But no. Yeah, no. The blue and teal one is for Ariel. Gotcha. Yeah, I will let her know. Uh, yeah, you won't catch me. First of all, I don't swim. I don't know how to swim. Even though I live in a state that is known for water, there's water all over the place. I don't know how to swim. And a lot of the water here, you don't want to swim in. Usually hang out on the beach. Beachcomb when they swim, yeah. I'm When the weather is warm, I'm all for sitting on the beach. Sitting on the beach, people watch, look at the waves, look for seashells or whatever else I can. The whole beachcombing thing, yeah. Make a sandcastle, I'm all for that. But I don't even put my feet in the water. I'll put my hands in the water to wash off some of the sand, but alrighty. Another row is done. I am making progress tonight. I think it's also because of the help of everybody in here. That kind of sparks my motivation to keep on going. Okay, save that. How long have I been hooking? Hey there, Shadow Arch. Um, I have been a hooker for about 20 years now. So I'm an old hooker. But yes, I'm a dirty hooker. I'm an old dirty hooker. I'm also a tight hooker. Yes, I'm tight and I'm fast. Not that fast is necessarily a good or a bad thing. So, but yes, about 20 years. Actually, one of my followers, Crojo Mojo, taught me how to be a hooker, so I learned it from her. On that note, it's 2 a.m. Gotta run, but thank you for the stream. Oh, no. I totally understand. Get some sleep. You have a good evening. And again, thank you for everything that you have posted in the Discord and everything that you've chatted in here. And I will definitely talk to you later. So, how are you, Shadow Arch? Are you a hooker also? This is the home. You'll be back. Try to be back on Thursday. Okay. Well, then I won't see you, but Granny Karen will, if she's feeling well. If she's not feeling well, then I'll be here. But hopefully she'll be feeling well to make a return. She hasn't been around for a couple weeks. We had a technical issue one week, and then last week her arthritis was acting up. You're a hooker, nice. And again, even if you're not, if somebody is not a hooker, you're still welcome here. So we don't discriminate. So Shadow Arch, how long have you been a hooker? All the crafts, yes, Tatter. What Tatter said. Alrighty, now I gotta move. This thing is getting. And I've said it on past streams when I've worked on this blanket. You've been a hooker since 10. Oh, wow. Not an A plus, but I can do a few things. That's fine. I had mentioned this earlier, and again, I'm probably going to say this probably 30 times in a stream, but that's all right. My channel is about education. So if you have any questions about crochet or want to learn how to crochet, feel free to say, hey, Crafty Cub, can you help me with this? Or I want to learn that. And I'm more than willing to put down what I'm working on, grab a ball of yarn, grab a hook, and try my best to show you or teach you a certain stitch or motif or pattern or even just the basics. Self-taught about 7 or 8 years ago. Very cool. I'm going to ask this, and actually, a fellow streamer, Pick Stitch, would always ask this. Well, he would ask me a couple times, and I gave the same answer. But for those of you who crochet, even new people or followers that have been following you from the beginning, those of you that crochet, what is your favorite crochet stitch? And if you don't have one, that's fine too. And it could be any of the basic ones. I refer to those as the foundation or the building block stitches, like the singles, the doubles, the half doubles, the slips, all of that. Or it could be the more complex, intricate patterns. Half double? You know what? Diamond stitch? I'm not familiar with the diamond stitch. Huh. I'll have to look that up. Anna, you said half double. That is my favorite stitch, and that is also Pick Stitch's favorite stitch. So half double is a very popular stitch. I don't think I have a favorite of the complex, intricate stitches. Hey there, Toya. How are you? Trouble? Trouble is nice. Another half double crochet, half double fast and easy, still not too lacy. Yes, it is a very, what's the word? It's not too tight like a single crochet would be, and like Sue said, it's not too lacy, it's not too open. And at least with me, I like it because they kind of go a little faster, even though speed is not a big thing, but it's like there's one less. You yarn over and pull up, and then you just yarn over and pull through all three. So it's not like you got to do like pull through two and then yarn over and pull through two again, like a double. Love making plushies, but I have to do single. Yes, yeah, with plushies and a lot of amigurumi, you are going to need the singles. You only learned how to do it a month ago. Oh, with the treble? And did you know there's something called a double treble? And I'll show you real quick. It's not part of this pattern, but I'll show you a double treble. Let me zoom in a little bit. Yes. Okay. So we know a single, and again, I use U.S. terms for anybody who uses UK terms, but I use I use US terms. So a single, if we know a single, we got a yarn on a loop on the hook. You go in, pull up a loop, yarn over through two. That's a single. A half double is you yarn over, so two on the hook, go in, bring up a loop, three on the hook, yarn over through all three. That's a half double. And then we know a double, you yarn over, and I'm going through real quick. So this isn't really an all-inclusive thing. So a double is you yarn over, bring up a loop, three on the hook, yarn over through two, yarn over through two. That's a double. A triple is you yarn over twice, three loops on the hook, go in, bring up a loop, yarn over through two, yarn over through two, yarn over through two. It's triple because you're doing the yarn over through two three times. So that is a triple or a treble. And then a double treble, and there's also a thing called a triple treble or treble treble. I'll show you that in a second. So a double treble, is you're going to yarn over three times, and you have four on the hook, four loops on the hook, go in, bring up a loop, yarn over through two, that's once, yarn over through two, that's twice, yarn over through two, that's three times, yarn over through two, that's four times. That is a double treble. And then a triple treble is you yarn over, so it's double, triple, and then triple treble, you yarn over. Thank you for the follow, Queen Shorty. So a triple treble is you yarn over four times, and there's five loops on the hook, and you go in, bring up a loop, and then yarn over through each set of two. So it's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So each time you do it, you're just making your stitch taller. You're not going to use them as often. You use them in like cabling and a lot of doilies to make like a lacy type look. It's not something you're going to see in tons and tons of patterns. Yeah. Technically, I guess there could be more if however many times you do your initial yarn over, like how many of them. You can keep going. You can have a really long one. I don't know how practical that would be, but sometimes you'll see double triples and triple triples. Yep. And for those of you who don't know how to crochet, that is kind of the basic. Those are the basic stitches besides the slip stitch or the chain stitch. Actually, I'm going to do the chain here because that's part of the pattern. The chain stitch, you always, with all crochet, and again, this isn't an all-inclusive tutorial on how to crochet, but when you crochet, when you start any stitch, you have one loop on the hook. You start every stitch with one loop. And then a chain stitch is you're going to yarn over and pull that yarn over through that loop. That's a chain. And I needed a chain there. And then a slip stitch. A slip stitch is kind of like a chain, but you go in, you don't do any yarn over. You go in, you bring up a loop and pull that loop through the loop that's on the hook. That's a slip stitch. Again, that wasn't like a in-depth tutorial. I went kind of fast. But like I said, if anybody needs help with any crochet, I'm more than willing, words, to try to help anybody. And then there's crocheting in the round, which we will do tomorrow night. We're going to do the square and a circle. And both of those are done in the round. And I'm relatively new to amigurumi or plushies or anything that's three-dimensional. I did weeks ago. I made this cute little acorn. That was my very first amigurumi. And then the other week I did, well, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I did some three-dimensional pumpkins. They were sizable, had a couple different sizes. So I showed how to do a couple of those. And just as a little sneak peek, I don't have a sample of it yet. At the end of the month, we will be doing a amigurumi candy corn. And I know candy corn is one of those candies that can divide people. Candy corn, you either love it or you hate it. I love candy corn. You made a ghosty. It's super cute. Nice. Those of you who are not part of the Discord, if you want to join the Discord and want to share any pictures, feel free to type in !Discord. And in there, usually we post pictures in the Whips and Foes channel over there. And it doesn't have to be just crochet. It could be whatever your hobby, your art form, your interest. Also want to go to sleep 5.5 hours ago after quickly finishing my front panels. Turns out one of them was off a few stitches and had to frog a lot. Now back to being done. Oh, in 2 rows. Oh, no. I hate that when you get that far along and realize you have to frog the whole thing. I mean, sometimes you can kind of fudge it, but if it's so much that it's noticeable, you're going to go to Moop Mobile soon and lurk. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and also, if you were going to plan on going to sleep, don't stay up just because I'm live. I understand that time zones and everything, and a whole granny stitch off at the top. Ooh, yeah. Like I said, if you need to get some sleep, definitely do that. Hey there, Krusty Customs. How are you? You posted pumpkins? Or Perkins? Oh, wait. Oh, I just saw a glimpse of it. Your mistake was 10 rows back. Ugh. Alrighty. We got another share in the Discord. Anna posted something. Made these little Perkins recently. They follow the colors of my meows. Oh my goodness, Anna. Okay, Anna, do you have patterns for this? If you have a pattern for this, I love it, and I think I know some people who would love this as well. That is stinking adorable. I like the white one with the black ear and the gray ear. I really like that. I might like them all, but that was super, super cute. Yeah, if you want, you can share the link in here, and also in the Discord, I have a patterns channel. If you want, that might be the best place for me to get to it because I'm not gonna have access to the chat all the time. So, um, if you want to put it in either or both, yeah, that is stinking adorable. Okay, that might make me get more into amigurumi. Yeah, like I told Pick Stitch the other week when I raided into his channel, he does a lot of amigurumi on his channel, and I said, yeah, I'm starting to go over to the dark side of amigurumi. I don't know if I'm going to fully stay over there, but I might just visit. Yeah, those are so cute. Thank you, Anna, for posting that. Alrighty. I almost lost my stitch. And when I mean losing the stitch, it comes off the hook and then makes me not happy. But normally with this yarn, I don't really lose the stitch that much. It's not a splitty yarn. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get some more orange yarn. I need to make a list. Because there's a bunch of things I need. Or a few things. I need some cream colored crochet thread for a commission piece. And I need some finger protectors for when I needle felt. I practiced with needle felting weeks ago. I stabbed myself, and those things hurt. Did the Egyptians invent crocheting because I looked at patterns and looked like hieroglyphics? Actually, I'm not exactly certain. They don't really know who invented crochet. Crochet is much more recent than knitting. Thank you for the follow, Shadow Arch. I appreciate that. Knitting is much older. Crochet, I think they've only have references to crochet probably in the past 200 to 300 years. And yes, some of the patterns. Problem with patterns, not everybody is a good pattern writer, and not everybody tries to stick with more standardized systems of writing patterns. And then there is the difference between written out or abbreviations and charts. And you're done tomorrow, you speed run the sleeves. That's good. You definitely work more on it tomorrow. You can't read a pattern to save your life. If I was more prepared, I can try to help you read a pattern. I'm not the best at trying to teach that. Are the anybody who has an issue with reading a crochet pattern, is it the written out with like the abbreviations where it says SC and then the asterisks and the different and all of that? Or is it the diagram, the symbols? And there are resources probably all online. I don't know if the crochet crowd has any videos on YouTube on reading patterns. He might. I'm not certain. But Clay Miko lent me this book here. It's called The Crochet Answer Book by Edie Ekman. And I thumbed through it, and it is very informative and has lots of information. Some information I didn't even know. So that might be something to look into. Again, that's called The Crochet Answer Book. I'm going to see if I can find a link for this to post in the Discord. That's a good resource. All of it for you? Okay, lady, you have a good night. I will talk to you later. It's good to see you. Yeah, it is getting later. Alrighty, so Shadow Arch, you said all of it. Can't think of off the top of my head a specific user or video or resource to look at. Primarily, and I don't have a pattern here. I would never share the actual pattern on stream. I'd have to write up my own. Usually they can be confusing, and it depends if the pattern, if it's a good, well written pattern. Usually, if it's between the asterisks, the stars, you do everything between there as many times as noted. So sometimes it'll have all these different stitches. So SC is single crochet, SL is slip stitch, DC is double, HDC is half double, etc. And then you do that as many times as specified. So it might say do it like 3 times. What gets confusing is the more elaborate patterns that will have brackets and parentheses and all of that. If it's a good pattern, there will be a key or a legend to help you decipher what they mean. Not always the case. We're going to have another ad here in about 20 some seconds. So I don't want to get caught off and yammering while we go to ad. When we come back from the ad, I'll continue this conversation about the crochet patterns. So I'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sitting through that ad break. I didn't mention that was probably a good time to do a hydrate break or a stretch break or a snack break, bathroom break. Anyway, welcome back. So, Krusty Custom says just learned to chain today, so that's all I know. So I looked up patterns and I was like, nope, an Egyptian right there. Okay. My advice to you, if you are just learning how to crochet and you're just learning how to chain, the chain is the very first thing you learn. Don't worry about patterns right now. Don't worry about patterns. Try to learn how the stitch is formed and getting even consistent stitches and your tension right. And the tension's going to happen in time, meaning your tension is all your stitches are even and in uniform and they're all the same size. That's going to be something you have to learn with practice and time. Nobody can teach you that. I wouldn't worry about a pattern right now. I would worry about just how to do the actual stitches. And if you need help, if anybody needs help with the actual stitch, again, I'm willing to help there. when you get to the point of reading a pattern, I pick up things quick. All mine are even and even tensioning. Nice. What I would recommend is today you just learn how to chain. Okay. If you were sitting here with me and I was teaching you to chain, this is what this is what we're going to do. I can put this aside. This is perfect. We're going to put the temperature blanket aside anyway, because I'm getting tired of Mr. Temperature Blanket. Yeah. Alrighty. This is the core of my channel. This right here is what this is all about. If you were sitting here and I was teaching you the chain, normally I show how to do the chain and you just keep chaining and chaining and chaining for about 20, 30, 50 chains. And then I say, here, hand it to me. I take the hook out and I'd rip all your chains out and I'd watch you get upset with me. And I'd tell you, start again until you're even and your stitches are the same size. But if you said that you have your stitches are even and everything like that, then you're good. The next thing to do is, if you want, and if you don't have your yarn in front of you and a hook right now, that's fine. But I'm going to go real slow, and I'm going to show you the next step. So let me zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to do some chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 chains. Okay, this is just a little sample. I've chained, let me turn this music down a little bit. I've chained 21 chains, and we're going to work into this chain, into these chains, and we're going to do some single crochets, and I'm going to end up having 20 single crochet stitches into this chain. The reason I chained 21 is because if you're doing rows, we're going to do rows back and forth, kind of like the blanket I was working on. We're not working in a round, we're working rows side to side, left to right, or right to left. You skip the first one. You're going to skip the first one if you're going to do a single. You need a turning chain. So this very first one here is going, when I go to do the stitch, it's going to be at a right angle. And that one chain is going to give me the height that I need for the rest of my stitches. So the rule of thumb, and this isn't always the case, you can always change it depending on the pattern, but generally, if you're going to do a single crochet, you're going to chain one first as a turning chain. If you're going to do a half double, usually you're going to chain two as your turning chain, and so on. The taller the stitch, the more chains you're going to use. So we're just going to do the single crochet. So we've got our 21 stitches, our 21 chains, and in the second chain from the hook, so not the first, the loop on the hook doesn't count as a chain. So there's our first chain, and in our next chain, that's our second chain. We're going to work into the chain. Now, I don't know how well you can see this. I chose a lighter color yarn, so hopefully you can see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a single crochet. So I'm going to put the hook into the chain. Now, if you look at the anatomy of the chain, there's 3 strands there. There's the top one, the middle one, and the bottom one. There are different ways of working into the chain. I'm going to show you the real basic, traditional way of doing it. There's other variations. Don't worry about that tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hook into the chain underneath the top 2 strands, but above the bottom strand. So I'm going to open it up here with my fingers, and that is where I'm going to put the hook. So we still have it on the loop on our hook. We're going to go into the second chain, go in, bring up a strand, and bring it through the chain. I'm going to do that again. So in that same second chain from the hook, we're going to go under the first 2 strands and above the bottom strand. So you're going to go right in between if you count from top to bottom, 1, 2, 3, between strands 2 and 3. And on top of your hook, you'll have 2 strands here, and on the bottom of the hook, you'll have the 1 strand. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through the stitch, and now you have 2 loops on the hook. So I'll show that one more time. So you're going to put the hook into the chain under the top 2 strands of the chain, bring it through, 2 loops on the hook, and now to finish your single crochet, you're going to yarn over. So yarn over means the yarn goes over the hook. There's a yarn over and a yarn under. We're only going to do yarn overs. You're going to use a lot of yarn unders if you're doing amigurumi. We're not doing amigurumi. So we're going to yarn over. So that means, the way I explain is, imagine a triangle. The way you have your tension, you've got your finger, and however you hold it. So you're going to have a finger here, and your thumb forms 2 parts of the triangle, and your strand forms the other. So the way I do a yarn over, I tell people to go in to the triangle, get the hook under the strand, and I usually have the hook parallel to the floor. So I don't have the hook pointing down. Got the hook parallel to the table or the floor. Go under. So going under is actually yarning over. The yarn is going over. And you're going to yarn over. You're going to take that loop that is in the hook there, and you're going to pull it through these 2 loops that are here on the stitch. So you're going to pull it through just like that, and that's a single crochet. So I'm going to start over again. Again, in the second chain from the hook, under those 2 strands, I'm going to yarn over. So the yarn is going over the hook, bring it through, 2 loops on the hook. I'm going to yarn over again and bring that yarn over through both of these loops. And usually, it's going to take some practice if you're first learning. Usually in one movement, that's the aim. That's what you're aiming for. So that is a single crochet. And then if you want to do another in the next chain, so our next chain is right here. Again, under those 2 strands. So 2 strands there, and the other strand is on the back side. Go through there. We're going to bring the loop, the strand through the stitch. 2 on the hook. We're now going to yarn over and bring that yarn over through both loops that are there. That is the single crochet. And then I'm just going to do one more. I'm going to go to the next chain. That's a long. Go into the chain. Yarn over and bring it through the chain. 2 on the hook. And then yarn over and bring the yarn over through the 2 loops. This is going to take some practice to get it just right. I see now I can at least make a scarf or something. Yes. Now, I'm going to keep going until I get to the end. And when I get to the end, I'll show you what we're going to do for the next row. So I'm just going to do single crochets. I'm going to go a little bit fast, unless you're crocheting along. If you're crocheting along with me, let me know. And if I'm going too fast, please let me know. So again, I'm going to go into the chain, pull up, bring it through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over through those 2. And that's all I'm going to do for each of these chains. You're not right now? Okay. Now remember, I chained 21, but that first one we skip because that is our turning chain. And that turning chain, again, is going to give us the height that we need for the single crochet, for the stitch that we're doing in this row that we're on right now. So we're going to have 20 stitches. Again, there's always exceptions to the rule of how many you chain up for turning chains, but that's usually a good guide, is If it's a single, you're going to have one turning chain. And then so on for the other stitches. And I'm not going to go and do all the extra other stitches tonight. I don't want to confuse you or anybody else who is new to crochet or might want to learn how to crochet in the future. And again, anytime, anybody who's listening, if they want to learn, I'm more than more than willing to do what I'm doing right now. You're finally in bed and cozy? Nice. So I'm here at my very last chain. So I'm going to go into the chain. I'm going to do the stitch like normal. All right, so I'm at the end of the row. I'm right-handed. So I'm right-handed. I'm always going to stitch right to left. If you're left-handed, you do it opposite. Again, if anybody's left-handed and this is confusing to you, I'm sorry. Maybe watch the VOD back, and if there's a way you can flip the video. All right, so we did one row in single crochets. Our next row, we're going to do single crochets again. So, to do single crochets, we need a turning chain. We need the height for that stitch. So we're going to chain one. And again, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to crochet right to left. Well, I can't go right to left because I'm at the end of the row. I can't, there's nothing to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn. That's why they call it a turning chain. Some people do the chain one and turn like I do, and other people turn and then do the chain one. There's different theories of how it looks. It's all up to you. It's a personal preference. I like to chain one and turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip our work. So we're going to flip it all the way over to the back side. Don't worry about your tail. We're going to worry about the tail at the very end when we're done. So now we flipped it over, and now we're at the right side of the row. Now, with a single crochet, let me move the hook real quick and get out a pointer. Let me see if I can show you the anatomy of a single crochet stitch. So there's a single crochet stitch here. This right here is known as the post. It's the vertical part. And then to the right of it, there are some loops here. There are two loops. And normally when you work into the stitch for a basic stitch, and I don't care if it's a single, a double, a half double, any of these stitches, you're normally going to go right into here, right under the top of these loops of the stitches that are right there. Some stitches, and not usually singles, but usually taller stitches, you'll work around or something to do with the post. We're not doing any of the posts. Those are more advanced decorative stitches. So let me go back and put this in. So we chain one and we turn. So that chain one is going to give the height that we need for our stitches that we haven't done yet. So I'm going to go into, and the loop of the stitch, I know it's kind of difficult to see. My camera's not the best. These loops here that are on the top of the row, those loops belong to this stitch here. So it forms like the letter P. Don't worry about the bottom chain, but it forms the letter P. So that is the post, and that's the loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the loop. So we're going to go into the stitch there. And if you look on the top edge of our single crochets and most crochet stitches, we'll have these V's. See how the strands kind of form like V's? So we're going to have the V's on top of the hook. We're going to yarn over and bring it through. 2 loops on the hook, yarn over through 2. And that is a single crochet, just like we did through the chain. It's a lot easier to stitch into a stitch, like a single or any of the other stitches, than it is for stitching into the chain. That first row, stitching into the chain stitch, I've been doing it for 20 years, and I hate it to this day. That could be a challenge. That's always not the most pleasant part of crocheting. It's something we do, but usually at the beginning of a piece, if it has the foundation chains, not always, but usually that's the only time you stitch into it, unless you're doing other patterns where you have to go into the chain. We're not doing any of those. So we're going to go into the next. So there's a hole here. See that hole? We're going to put the hook into the hole, bring up a loop, 2 on the hook, yarn over through those 2. That's all there is to a single crochet. It's just when you get to the end. See, I don't think I've ever been focused. I don't think I've ever been so focused on your phone. Well, I'm glad you're able to kind of understand this. I try to break it down, and with the visualization, hopefully that will help people get the idea of how the stitches form. That's the main thing when you're first learning crochet. It's not about reading patterns. It's not about making a beautiful sweater or a hat or any of that. It's the same thing with math. When you were in school and you learned math, you have to learn how to add. Well, first you have to learn how to count. And then you have to learn how to add and subtract before you can multiply and divide and do the square roots and all of that. You need your basics before you can get more advanced. So, I always tell new crocheters, don't worry about a pattern. Your first piece you're going to make is most likely going to be horrible. It's going to look like a rat's nest. But we learn from it. Okay, the one thing I'm going to show you here, when you get to the end of the row, that single crochet here, there's a stitch here I haven't done yet. So the stitch is right here. So that is the turning chain from when we did our initial chain, when we chained up 21. That right there is that very first chain we skipped. We need to go into that, because if not, you're going to be down a stitch. And we've gone through all of that, and that is another row of single crochet. And then you can go on from there depending on what stitches you're doing. There's other variations, and I'm not going to get into it. Remember how I showed the anatomy of the stitch? Let me see if I can show a stitch here. Here's the post of the stitch, and here are the loops. There's 2 loops there that form the V. Some stitches, you go around, either behind the post. Usually they're double crochets or triple crochets, you do that. They're behind, or sometimes you go in front of it. There's a certain way that you do it to make a raised stitch. Sometimes with these loops here, sometimes you go into the front or to the back loop. That creates another effect to it. There's all different variations. Sometimes certain stitches you'll drop down a couple rows and do something to it. So there's lots of texture in it. That's what kind of sets crochet apart from knitting, because there's many different places to put the hook. It's not always the same. But the stitches will usually specify how to do that in the names or the descriptions of the stitches. Just practice till you run out of yarn. Yes, that's the best thing I can tell you to do, is keep practicing. The other thing I tell everybody, even well-established crocheters, crochet is not permanent. It's yarn. There's nothing permanent. Even if it's something that you made years ago, you can always take that yarn, frog it, and frogging is a term where you rip out stitches because you rip it, and it sounds like ribbit, and that's why they call it frogging. Okay? There's a lot. It's like a whole other language. You learn different terms and different ways of speaking. But yes, and in knitting, you can frog stitches too. That's when you have to basically rip out a whole row. There's something different that you can. There's another. It's a knitting thing. Don't not worry about the knitting thing. It's another term. We don't use it here in crochet. But like I always say, it's not permanent. So you can take a piece that was made years ago, decades ago, or whatever, and if you don't like the piece, but you like the yarn or the thread's a little more difficult to rip out. But all you got to do is, if you can find where it started, or if you're working on a piece here and you make a mistake, you only got that one loop to deal with. That's another thing. If you're done with your project for the night, make a big loop and set it down. You can come back to it. But let's say you want to reuse this yarn, and I do this all the time. My samples here, not all of them, but a lot of my samples, I reuse the yarn over and over and over again. So all you have to do is, I'm going to take, this is my working yarn, this is coming from the ball of yarn, and I'm going to pull it. And when I pull it, I'm ripping all of those stitches out. And once you practice, you can reuse it and start again and practice, practice, practice until you get the hang of how the stitches are formed. Hopefully that made sense. And I don't know what color yarn you're using. If you were able to find this, to do the chain and to do the stitches, that's great. I always recommend a new crocheter to use a light colored yarn, like a baby blue, a white, a light pink, any pastel color, and a larger hook so you can see the stitches. But if you're able to do the chain and you can see the different parts of the chain, then you're good to go. Once you master single, you'll ask what's next. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm always willing, and this goes for everybody. It's just not just you, it's just anybody. And I know I've said that multiple times tonight. I'm always willing to show basic stitches and even more complex ones. So anybody has a question, you have white on hand. White is great. White is great. You just ordered this book? Yeah. Again, I'm not sponsored, but this book here, and again, I've only thumbed through it, and this is a lot of information. In here, this might, and again, you don't have to use a book. There are free resources online. This will show how, and they have good diagrams. I don't want to show too much of the book because it's copyrighted, but they will show how to do stitches into the chain and how to do all of that. Again, it's a really, from what I've just thumbed through, I haven't read the whole thing. Obviously, I don't need the thing. It's more of like it's a reference guide. If you got a question, thumb through it and look at it. But I like how it's laid out, and it's small, and it can easily go into a project bag. But like I said, hopefully that made some sense. Yeah, when you get more comfortable with that, with a single crochet stitch, and you want to move further, I will try to help you on the next one. And if you join I think I saw that you had got you did the command for the Discord. You can always message me in the Discord, or in the actual Discord server, post a question or whatever, and there might be someone else in there that could help. I usually always have the Discord open when the computer's on, which is most of the day. The only time I really don't have it on is when I'm asleep. So if I'm around, I will always be there to answer your question. But I'm glad that you've shown an interest in it. But I'm going to warn you, it can be an addicting hobby. I mean, there's some people that try it and they're like, okay, yeah, that was fun, and then never touch it again. But I'm always trying to make something, and even if it's something small, and yes, very addicting. And then once you get better at that, and if you like it, and then when you're more advanced, we will learn Squares and granny squares. Thank you for the follow, Lady Bonfire. Welcome to my stream. How are you? But there's so many cool things that you can make. Like it's just not your grandmother's crochet. It's not the boring stuff. There's so many cool, interesting, detailed things that you can make with crochet. It's a huge world. Because I know there's a bunch of streamers on here that crochet, and they only do amigurumi. Amigurumi means Japanese means cool or cute knitted or crocheted toy. There are people, like I said, they only do amigurumi. They would never ever want to attempt to do a blanket. I do blankets. I do all different types. There are people who aren't really into granny squares or any type of square. I love a square. I like them because they're relatively quick and easy. They don't take up a lot of room, and you can mix and match and play with the patterns. Just did my first granny square on Tuesday. It wasn't the best, but it's super exactly. It's just like with anything. Like if anybody has ever, when they were a kid or whatever, if they tried to ride a bike, the first time you were on a bike, you weren't competing in the Tour de France. So it takes practice, and but like I said, I'm not much of an amigurumi person. I'm starting to venture into it. Congrats! I learned to do a granny square a few months ago. Just got to keep making more. Yeah. I know. I remember Anna when you were in my stream back in June, and I was doing all the garden themed ones. That one flower one that you did. Well, it was the one that I did, but your version of it, I still like think of that. It was like it was so beautiful. That I think it's called a water lily. Actually, you learn from the best. Um, I have mine here somewhere. There it is. There it is. We did this in June. This is a little more advanced because it's three dimensional. All crochet doesn't have to be flat. It is three dimensional. It is a square, so it's worked in rounds. Yeah. Her version, I think it had like reds and yellow, like oranges, maybe some yellow or whatever. It was beautiful. Yeah. So it's just not all flat pieces, the same thing over and over again. There is some lots. We like a lot of texture here on this channel, so this is very texturized. So we did this back in June. I did a month long garden themed. It was flowers and some little garden critters. I did some insects. I did a snail, and they were all from um different pattern designers. So it wasn't they didn't all coordinate with each other. Like they were some of them were kind of the same size, but they weren't all from the same. They weren't all written at the same time. There's stuff that I picked and chose, and alrighty, I gotta move this big old honking. I'm sick and tired of orange. But my skein is getting low. It's not anywhere near to being empty, but I think I might have one more thing of orange. With the do, you start on the And what's that? What do you mean start on the outside? Oh, the square here? This? The flower here? No, you start in the center. You start in the center and work your way out. That's how most squares are done. Pretty much all squares. Unless you're doing rows, if you're doing like however many stitches per row, and then you just do a square like that instead of like a scarf or anything. But yeah, that is done. You start in the center. I need to put away this blanket anyway. I don't know why I go back to it. We'll do a little show and tell of things that we've done previously on the stream. Got a bunch of them. So we did this one the other week. This one's a little more advanced, and this was started in the center. We did a little spider. You got to lurk, get the kids to bed. Okay, we'll be here. I did this one the other week. This also was started in the center. So we made the tan part first. We made the square, we finished it, and then we went back and we added the white into the center and worked our way out. So we started in the center twice with this. I'm not going to show all of these. This one is a little different. We made the green square from the center and went out. And then this was done separately. These were separate little pieces that we did and pieced them together and sewed them on. That's an applique. Let's see what else we have here. We did this one in September. This one was really fun. This was all started in the center. You start in the center, you do each of these leaves is one round. All the leaves are one round. And then you do the rest of it. So that was a little spiral leaf pattern. Yeah, three-dimensional. I love a three-dimensional square. Okay, there's that and that. We did this one in the beginning of September. This is not three-dimensional, but this one was tricky because this round here, you're switching colors in the same round. Well, yeah, this one here would be great for a pillow cover. This one was tricky because each round you're picking up a new strand and changing colors. This one was even difficult for me. This was more advanced. I'm not going to show all of these, but we did some cute little small squares, little animals. You do all the main color, and then you go back and you add the little details for the face. What else? What else did we do? This was from back in June. We did a sunflower. Start in the center, and you work your way out. Let's see what else I have in my bag of stuff. There's this one. We did this in June also. This is a stitch here. These are very textured. It's called a popcorn. These are popcorn stitches, which are a little more complicated. They're one of the kind of a basic, more of an advanced basic stitch. You can incorporate a bunch of the popcorns together. So that one's kind of fun. Let's see. I don't like that one that much. Some of these, I'm not that big of a fan of. This is a very, well, that's not a good example. Let me find the good example first. I thought I saw it here. Maybe it's still in here. Alrighty. This here is a traditional granny square. This is a granny stitch. A granny stitch is 3 double crochets grouped together in little groupings. So this is a granny square. All these other ones, I technically are just a square. But this is the granny stitch. And this goes quick because it's the same thing over and over again. You can make it as big as you want. This one is a variation of the granny square, except you change colors of how you place the colors. So this one's a a little more advanced granny square. It's the same stitch, it's just color placement. This right here is a variation of the granny square. You just do two sides and then you turn and you go work your way back. So they're kind of just in one corner. And you can do a series of these together and you can create a really cool optical effect. Let's see here. I've got a bag full of squares. What's that? That's just a regular granny. That's a regular granny. That's not even a good one. Let's see. Got lots of grannies in here. That would be no corner to corner. Corner to corner is totally different. Corner to corner is you start here and you work like this. This you're going around in here. Well, it's kind of. This you're going all the way around in a circle, and then you get here and you go. You do two sides, and then you do two more sides. So corner to corner is just back and forth in rows. So it kind of, but not really. We did this one in June. This needs to be blocked. It's all wrinkly. This started in the center. So we started with the flower first. And then this is three-dimensional. So this, lots of texture to that. Be really cute with a lot of other basic squares. And this is an accent. And that needs to be blocked. Okay. That one's super cool. That one's super cool. I mean, they're all kind of cool, but I'm trying to find some of my favorite ones. I don't like those. Oh, this one was cute. That one right there. Again, starting in the center and work your way out. And each round you're changing colors. You're doing something different and changing colors. And then these last two, and we're going to end the stream here soon, so I'll be going for almost 4 hours. Let me put these away. Really get those back in that bag. Oh. This one took forever to do. This one was a nightmare. Each round was a different color. And you did so many different things with it. Yeah, and it is kind of three-dimensional. There is some dimension to it. This is called the cherry blossom. The difficult part with this was you start with like these 5 petals and everything's based on 5, but then you have to take something that's a pentagon and square it up. This was not easy to square up. So we did that one. And then this one is super, super, super adorable. It's one of my favorite ones. And it's pretty much just circles. And it's a circle and you turn it into a square. And then you add things to it. We did, and again, cameras don't like red. So I gotta put my hands here. But, we did this cute ladybug. And its wings are three-dimensional. It's super, super adorable. So, that was part of our garden theme. I don't like the camera. The camera doesn't like the reds. So, but that's just a sample of some of the things that we've done here in the square family. Oh, and also, to circle back to what the vintage things, these are started in the circle also. These are done in the round. You start in the center and you work your way out. The same thing with a square, but this happens to be a circle. Same thing with this. This starts in the center. And same thing with the ghost oily. You start in the center. Welcome back, Krusty. I was just showing off some of the things that we've done. We were talking about granny squares and other different um, pieces. But yeah, so there's a wide world of crochet. Another thing, not to confuse you, just another example. There's something called mosaic crochet, which is more advanced, and this here is done with doubles, singles, and some chains. And remember when I was showing the sample with the blue with the single crochets? We do a row and then turn a turning chain and flip. This one we don't flip. This one you always do right to left. So you go right to the left, you end and you start back at the right. So the back looks totally different than the front. So there's a right and a wrong side, and you could do geometric. And there's a little. These stitches are a little raised because you're dropping. Remember how I had said some things you drop down, you go down a row or whatever. So you can get really creative with some color play and shapes and changing things up. Yeah, I want to get more into mosaic crochet. You can get real intricate with some of these patterns. But for a beginner, anybody who's first learning, learn the basic stitches. Like I said, you got to learn how to add and subtract before you can multiply and divide. You got to learn how to walk before you can run, even though there probably are some kids that probably started running first. All right, I think we're going to go and we're going to go find somebody to raid here in a second. Let me move this. Thank you, everybody, for. Oh, I got stuff all over the floor. Thank you, everybody who was here in my stream. Thank you for the new people that followed. What was I going to say? Yeah. Oh no, thank you, Tatter. Definitely thank you. Uh, Before we leave, I just want to do my little socials and all. I have a YouTube channel, so if you want to watch any of my previous stream, Nightbot just Nightbot is just repeating after me. Check out my YouTube channel. I've got about 140 some videos over there. Past streams, unedited, so the way you see it here is the way you see it over there. So you can check out things that I've done in the past, and that way you can slow things down, speed me up if you want to learn certain things or just want to watch. I have a Discord, and I know a bunch of you have been joining the Discord. Oh, no. Thank you very much, Holly. I appreciate you being here. You'll post some stuff in the Discord once you get the hang of it? Yeah, definitely. Again, if you have any questions, the Discord is probably one of the best places to ask. If it's not me, somebody else might be able to help you. So check out the Discord. We've got about 50 some people over there. We post pictures of things that we're working on or we finished, and it doesn't have to be just crochet. It could be anything you're interested in. It could be Bavarian fork making. I don't even know if that's a thing. I'm just coming up with things off the top of my head. Whatever you're into. So check that out. I also have a merch store. I mentioned that earlier. So you can get this shirt here, except if you get this one, anything with the pink, you'll have pink lettering. If you have the blue ball of yarn, you'll have blue lettering. Then there's also the design with all of the crochet terms, t-shirts, water bottles, and accessory pouches. So check all of that out. What else was I going to say? I'll be on again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to do our little skull square. And when we're done him, we're going to find something else to do, because this isn't going to take all stream long. This is all just a square and some circles. If you want to learn and try to figure out how to do a granny square, this might be, well, a square. This might be a stream to check out. And if you have trouble making a circle, this would definitely be the stream to check out. So it's just a couple circles. We'll be doing our skeleton tomorrow. We need to find somebody to raid out to. You'll be there? Okay. Let's see something real quick. Alright, I know who we're going to raid to. We're going to raid to a very small streamer. I'm kind of a small streamer. I only have 316 followers. But this is a much smaller streamer. They also crochet. I think they're making a hat, I think, at the moment. Everybody stick around for the raid. Show them some love. Give them some... Follow them. Try to support their channel. Before we raid out, I am going to try to do this raid call. If joining the raid, anybody who is a follower, copy that raid call. So you just copy it. And then when you're in the raid, go into the chat thingy and hit paste and hit enter. That raid call will work. That's for anybody who is a follower. So it's free. You don't have to pay for it to be a follower. And if you are a sub, if you have a subscription, that is the raid call for subs. I'm new to emotes and I'm new to raid calls, so copy and paste those. And then that will help them know that, hey, you're part of the raid and whatever. And try to, again, we want to try to get them more views and more followers because we're all about cooperation and supporting each other here on the Makers and Crafters here on Twitch. See, I'm a real streamer now. So we're gonna go raid out to Cake Crochet. They are another male crocheter, and they're working on a hat. So they only have one viewer at the moment right now. So we need to help them out. So definitely everybody stick around for the raid. Show them some love. I'll be on again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern for our skeleton square. I'm rocking the stream tonight. Yep. Hey, this is like a 4-hour stream. I normally only do like about a 2-hour stream, so I'm feeling good tonight. Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you, Holly. You have a good night too. Again, everybody stick around for the raid. Show them some love, and I will be on again tomorrow night. And as I always say, as I close everything out, close every stream out, happy crafting. See you over there with the raid.